The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has warned that the country needs to be ready to move on if a deal isn't struck at this week's Brexit negotiations. He says there's still time to reach an agreement, but a no deal would, in his words, be a good outcome for the UK.
No deal's a good outcome? Hang on. When you were trying to get elected, you kept banging on about this.
We've got an oven-ready deal, oven-ready, ready to go. We have it, ready to go, oven-ready. Whack it in the microwave, put it in the microwave, prick the lid, put it in. We have an agreement that is ready to go. It is oven-ready. Gas mark 4, it's there. It's ready, it is ready to go.
Ready to go? His deal is as oven-ready as this quiche. The country is taking more of a pounding than this thing. But then we shouldn't be surprised they're so incompetent. This is a government that advertised a head of pandemic preparedness job. And when did they do that? 6 months into the UK's coronavirus outbreak. Let me repeat that. They hired someone to prepare for corona 6 months after it started. Now, call me mad, but surely better prepare for something before it happens. I'm pregnant. Not if I put on this condom. We're having this baby. I've deleted Tinder. We never met. Head of pandemic preparedness. Who's he hiring? These two? You picture Boris. Yep, this is Marty in the dock, and they're going to travel back in time and fix everything. And as long as nobody calls Marty chicken and he doesn't try and fuck his own mum, I think we are going to be tickety-boo.
Adults are being urged to go back to their offices. The government's launching a PR blitz to persuade people that it's safe to do so.
And what was that gentle PR blitz? Go back to work or risk losing your job. Get back or we'll burn your fucking house down. The government shouldn't scare people back. They should woo people back. And I've got the perfect idea, right? We send Dominic Cummings and Matt Hancock on a national office tour and everyone gets to kick them in the bollocks. We had Eat Out to help out. Let's have Drop Kick the Smug Pricks. Always thinking. Is it me or does everything seem hopeless? Doesn't it? Don't worry though, my friends. The government has come up with a new master plan to save us all.
The Prime Minister hopes to avoid a second national lockdown with a mass testing programme called Operation Moonshot.
Operation Moonshot plan could hardly be more ambitious. 10 million tests a day, including some results back within minutes.
Amazing.
Experts, though, say we simply don't have the capacity and the technology doesn't yet exist.
Shit. Not only does it not exist, it gets worse. It's going to cost up to 100 billion. Our leader is spending 100 billion on something that doesn't exist. Don't worry, Britain. I've just bought 1 million invisible COVID detectors like this. And they send an alarm. Oh, fuck, I've been done again. Still, at least I've got my magic beans. No, Boris beans. Do you know the biggest problem? The biggest problem that runs through this pandemic? The biggest problem is the way the government have spoke to us. I mean, the daily briefings were a joke.
With contact tasting. Testing.
Can you repeat your second part of the question?
Forgive me. Contact tracing.
Well, I don't have those figures. I'll ask John.
They may elude any.
No. It's the short answer.
Thank you, Tom. I'll let Chris address that.
But I'll ask John to set out more details and answer both.
Patrick, did you get the second one, or was that Chris?
I've completely forgotten what the first part of the question was.
They struggle with basic English, which is probably why they keep patronising us with 3-word slogans. Have you noticed this? Protect the NHS, stay at home, go back out. But at least they made sense. I mean, the latest one is just words.
Hand, space, space, hands. Face, space.
Hands, face, space. Who's this speechwriter, this guy? No one speaks like that. Shops, me, go. Milk, remember you. Try, I will. It's mad. What's Boris's Boris's economic advice. Runny out of money. UK kitty shitty. Here's a 3-word slogan for you. Talk in sentences. But the problem with that is when you ask him to talk in sentences, you end up with shit like this.
It's the local whack-a-mole approach that is much more effective, and I say that without any prejudice towards moles, by the way. When I said the Mole Protection League got very cross when I said something about whack-a-mole. I love moles, nothing wrong with moles, apart from the ones in Whitehall, always leaking stuff. I'm very, very much pro-mole.
What the fuck are you talking about? Don't worry, Britain. The moles will be fine. I've just spent £1 billion on invisible mole houses. Oh, shit, I've been done again. Still, at least I've got my magic beans.
We've got to get control of this. The warning from the country's top scientists as Britain enters a second wave of coronavirus.
If we don't take action now, we could see 50,000 cases a day by mid-October
and 200 deaths per day a month later.
The Prime Minister today announced new restrictions for England in the light of rising cases and suggested they could be in place for 6 months.
We must take action now, because a stitch in time saves 9.
Jesus Christ. Things are getting serious. And our leader is Boris Johnson, a man who talks in fucking riddles. Here's how a scientist explained it.
We have to break unnecessary links between households because that is the way in which this virus is transmitted.
And here's how Boris Johnson put it. We need to flatten the camel's hump to save Christmas. Go on, Britain! We need to flatten the camel, squeeze the gerbil, squash the otter, tickle the badger, and finger the meerkat. Too much. Too much. Boris Johnson is back, and he's got a new catchphrase that doesn't make any sense.
We need to behave fearlessly, but with common sense.
How can you have common sense and be fearless? Come on, Britain, swim with sharks, but make sure they've eaten. He's such a joke. Did you see him at the Tory party conference attacking people that don't believe in wind power?
I remember how some people used to sneer at wind power 20 years ago and say it wouldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding.
Right? Who would say something like that? Wind farms couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding, says Boris Johnson. He's arguing with himself. Surely he must have known that he said that, because no one else judges energy through fucking puddings. PM, we've got a new wind turbine. Excellent. Can it destroy an apple crumble? Can it exterminate a trifle? Can it bitch slap a banoffee pie? Arguing with something he said. Who else is he going to have a pop at? People who can't use zip wires? Men that twat Japanese children? People who listen to music through their eyes? What a week of news it's been.
Half of England now face tighter restrictions, including 9 million people in the capital.
People in London, York, Essex and other areas are banned from mixing indoors.
Just as we simplified our national rules with the rule of 6, we will now simplify and standardise our local rules.
Excellent. And how are these new, simple rules going down?
The country is so confused.
I think it's been confusing from day one, really.
I'm sick of it. It's confusion.
You don't understand? No idea. Nobody knows?
There are too many different orders coming in, one after another, and we never know where we stand from one day to the next.
He's fucked it.
You can see why people are confused. There's so many rules and loopholes. For example, pubs in Tier 3, they have to shut down, but pubs can stay open and sell booze if they serve a Cornish pasty and a side salad. It's like Boris is making it up as he goes along. You can go to the pub if you've got a pasty. You can visit your nan if she's eating Monster Munch. And gyms are fine as long as you've got a Dairy Dunker. It's ridiculous. No wonder people are angry. One pub on Merseyside changed their name from the James Atherton to the Three Bellends. It gets madder. Boris Johnson confirms indoor sex is banned in certain lockdown tiers. The economy's in tatters, and he's promoting dogging. Protect the NHS, fucking a hedge. But make sure you take a pasty. This is madness. You can't have sex outside in this country. Britain is freezing. You get your cock out, it look like you got 3 bollocks. And where's the romance? Who wants to give someone a hand job whilst holding an umbrella? Oh, Britannia. Also, let's not muck around. There's so much grey area. What does indoor sex mean? Can you cuddle in a caravan? Get tugged in a tent? Can you flirt in a yurt? Bust a nut in a hut? Give head in a shed? Can you deep throat in a motorboat? Can you wham bam thank you man if you own a wigwam? It's ridiculous. And this is my favourite detail of the story. Under these guidelines, if you're having sex in this country, you must adhere to the rule of 6. If 6 of you want to bang in the street, that's fine. But 7, put the dick down and step away from the wigwam. There's more rules, right? As if students haven't suffered enough. Have you heard what's happening in York Uni? Students with corona are told to stay in rooms a minute longer if there's a fire in the halls. Like, who's gonna do that? Oh, there's a fire. 1, 2. I better not endanger other people's lives. 3. I wouldn't want to give them something that they'll statistically recover from. 4. It feels like the reason we've got all these mad rules is because Boris didn't deliver what he promised.
We will have a test, track and trace operation that will be world-beating.
World-beating? It's a bag of shit. Millions of us have downloaded the app and look how many alerts it's sent.
The coronavirus contact tracing app for England and Wales has only sent 1 alert about an outbreak of coronavirus since it was launched 2 weeks ago.
It's lazier than my eye. You laughed a bit too much at that, to be honest. That app isn't... Fuck off. That app is as good at saving people as this lady. Prosecco or baby, Prosecco. Did Boris announce the vaccine in a clear way? What do you think?
We've talked for a long time, or I have, about the distant bugle of the scientific cavalry coming over the brow of the hill. I can tell you that tonight, that toot of that bugle is louder.
What the fuck are you talking about? We want to know about the vaccine, not a brass band. The toot of the bugle is louder. That's not advice. That sounds like something he'd say when he's shagging. Princess Nut-Nuts, hold my bugle. It's about to toot. Thump it, pump it, stick it on my trumpet. I am so alone. It wasn't just Boris. All right, Jace.
The Brexit trade talks go into extra time as the UK and EU agree to keep talking.
Boris Johnson and the European Commission president say both sides are still very far apart.
It's like a turd that won't flush. Mind you, I'm not surprised Boris didn't get a deal, given the bollocks he was talking.
This was kind of a bit like twins, and the UK is one twin, the EU is another, and if the EU decides to have a haircut, then the UK has got to have a haircut.
What the fuck are you talking about? I bet the EU were baffled. Mr. Johnson, we need to discuss the fishing quotas. Who wants pigtails? What? I don't know. I know that face. Somebody wants a mohawk. Haircuts. Boris Johnson is the last man to be lecturing people about hair. He looks like he's been sprinkled with alpaca pubes and wired to a Van de Graaff generator. So not only does he look like shit, did you hear about his attempt at charm? As Boris Johnson spotted the EU's chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, approaching, he attempted to break the ice with a moment of humour. And what was that humour? Pointing a finger at him, he declared, "You gave me COVID." And we wonder why we didn't get a deal. You nearly fucking killed me, you bastard! Stay away from this froggy wanker, he's absolutely riddled. Right, let's negotiate. Where'd you stand on dreadlocks?